Today, we begin reading The Art of War, one of the most influential military classics from ancient China. The author traditionally associated with this work. Sun-Tzu was a strategist who lived roughly 2,500 years ago during the spring and autumn period, who is believed to have served the state of awe. Among the many stories told about him, one episode is especially famous. King Hamyo of O once wished to test Sun-Tzu's method of warfare. He is said to have asked, "Can your method even be applied to women?" Sun-Tzu answered that they could. So the king gathered the palace women, and Sun-Tzu divided them into two groups. The king's two favorite concubines were appointed as the commanders of each unit. Sun-Tzu then carefully explained the basic commands. Move forward, turn around, turn left, turn right. The woman, however, only laughed. None of the commands were obeyed. At this, Sun-Tzu said, "If commands are unclear, the fault lies with the general. But if commands are already clear and still not obeyed, then the fault lies with the officers." He then declared that the two concubines, as commanders of the unit, would be executed under military law. The king was shocked and quickly tried to stop him, but Sun-Tzu refused to yield. Once a general takes charge of the army, there are orders from the ruler that general cannot simply obey. In the end, the two concubines were executed and new commanders were appointed. When the drum sounded again, the palace woman moved with perfect precision and discipline. Seeing this, the king recognized that Sun-Tzu's military principles were not merely empty words, and he appointed him as a general. Whether this story is historically true or not, it symbolically reveals what the art of war regards as most important. Commands must be clear. Discipline must apply without exception. And war must be governed not by emotion, but by order and responsibility. This spirit runs throughout the entire book. The art of war is not merely a manual of warfare. It is also a book about human nature, judgment, leadership, and the understanding of the world itself. Throughout history, figures such as Napoleon Bonaparte and Mao Zedong were said to have studied Sun-Tzu closely. Even today, its influence extends far beyond the battlefield into politics, business, negotiation, and leadership studies. Now, let us delve into the wisdom of Sun-Tzu together. We begin with the first chapter, Shige, laying plans. The art of war begins with these words. Shige, laying plans. 손자왈, Sun-Tzu said, 병자 국지대사. War is a matter of vital importance to the state. 사생지지. It is the ground of life and death. 전망지도. The path to survival or ruin. 불가불찰야. And therefore must be examined carefully. Here, 사생지지 refers to the actual battlefield, the place where life and death are decided. 전망지도, the path to survival or destruction goes beyond physical war itself. It refers to the principles, strategy, an order upon which a nation either endures or collapses. Sun-Tzu therefore argues that before any war begins, certain conditions must first be examined carefully. These are called the 5 fundamental factors. The 5 essential elements that must be examined before war begins. The first is moral authority. This means whether the people and the army share the same purpose and spirit. A ruler who loses the trust of the people cannot sustain victory for long. For example, Hang-Wu was unmatched in battle, yet he ruled through fear and brutality, ultimately losing the support of the people. By contrast, Yubang won royalty through tolerance and restraint and eventually prevailed. Even today, this can be understood as the importance of trust, unity, and shared purpose within an organization. The second factor, heaven. This refers to seasons, weather, timing, and the conditions of the age itself. Sun-Tzu believed that victory depends not only on strength, but also on understanding the right moment. For example, Jojo's thought heavily outnumbered, defeated Wonso at the Battle of Bando through careful planning and control of supply lines. In modern terms, this may be compared to reading market trends, economic cycles, or political timing. The third factor is Earth. This refers to terrain, distance, and the conditions of battlefield. A famous example is Haein and his strategy known as fighting with one's back to the river. By placing his soldiers where retreat was impossible, he forced them to fight with absolute determination and achieved victory against overwhelming odds. Sun-Tzu teaches that understanding the environment is often more important than sheer numbers. The fourth factor is the commander. Sun-Tzu writes, the qualities of a commander are wisdom, trustworthiness, benevolence, courage, and strictness. A leader must not rely on force alone. Judgment, trust, humanity, discipline, and the ability to inspire others are equally essential. The fifth factor is discipline. This refers to military structure, organization, law, and systems of reward and punishment. A state may grow powerful through strict order, but without balance and the support of the people, such power cannot endure. However, understanding these 5 fundamental factors alone is not enough. They must also be compared in both sides. This is what Sun-Tzu calls the 7 calculations. The 7 strategic measures used to determine which side holds the advantage. Moral authority. Which ruler possesses the greater moral authority? Leadership. Which commander is more capable? Timing and terrain. Which side better understand? Timing, weather, and terrain. Discipline. Whose discipline and laws are more effectively enforced? Military strength. Which army is stronger? Training. Which soldiers are better trained? Rewards and punishment. Whose system of rewards and punishments is more fair and consistent? Sun-Tzu argues that by comparing these conditions carefully, the outcome of war can often be foreseen. In other words, the 5 fundamental factors are the essential conditions that must first be examined. The 7 calculations, meanwhile, self-determine which side holds the advantage. To Sun-Tzu, victory is decided long before the battle begins. The victorious army wins first, and then seeks battle. The defeated army fights first, and then seeks victory. For more than 2,000 years, the art of war has continued to survive, because it speaks not only about war, but about human judgment itself. How should we prepare? How should we lead? When should we advance? And when should we refrain from fighting? These questions remain relevant, even in the modern world. Perhaps this is why the words of Sun-Tzu still continue to be read today. 시계, 링프렌스. 손자왈, Sun-Tzu said. 병자, 국지대사. War is a matter of vital importance to the state. 사생지지. It is the ground of life and death. 전망지도. The path to survival or ruin. 불가불찰야. And therefore must be examined carefully. In the next episode, we will read the second chapter, Waging War, and explore what Sun-Tzu teaches about the true cost of conflict. Thank you for joining me today. This is Haein Classics.